Hello, I am the official Carla Lorraine, and I'm here today doing a recap review of Celebrity Big Brother Season 3. I am on part 4, which will be covering episodes 9 through 11. Okay, so if you have not seen my parts 1, 2, or 3, click the card and go ahead and watch those, or you can watch them later. But if you watch this one first, then there will be spoilers because you know. But the show's over anyway. It aired already. It's already over. Winner's been declared. All that. So anyway, we are starting off this episode on episode 9. So last episode, the very end, um, Misha and Todd got put on the block by Carson, who was the new HOH. Okay, so the episode begins with the voiceover narrator letting us know in the recap that Chris Kirkpatrick was the founder of NSYNC. That was nice to know. It only took 9 episodes because on episode 1, when all the house guests were coming into the house, I knew who some people were. I didn't know who some people were, and I knew that Chris Kirkpatrick was in a boy band, and they said that, and Teddy had said that she thought that he was from NSYNC, but she wasn't sure if he was from NSYNC or from that other one, 90s boy band. Anyway, it only took them 9 episodes to let us know who he actually is. And that's a damn shame to me because I did not feel vested enough to Google him. So I was going off of what Teddy had said. I didn't actually know for a fact. But the narrator did say, maybe I missed it. Maybe they did say it and I'm just, maybe I just missed it. But I know that I wrote that down, that they actually finally said it. So, whatever. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Found that out. If you already knew, then you already knew. If you didn't know, now you know. So anyway, Carson made a deal with Misha to keep him and Cynthia safe if they take her down after the veto and send Shayna home. Wait, who's the HOH? I thought Carson was the HOH. Yeah, Carson's the HOH. Okay, so Carson makes a deal with Misha that she'll Misha's on the block with Todd Bridges. So they're saying that if they take her down, they'll send Shayna home. And Misha's making the deal. Okay, whatever. They think so. Cynthia and Carson think that Misha's being honest with them, but Misha had already told Todrick that whatever they do, they're not going to stick to any deals with Carson and Cynthia anymore. They're not going to stick to any deals with them. They'll lie. They're not going to actually stick to any deals. Okay. So Misha goes to Todrick and tells him that she has made a deal for herself to be safe. Todrick is happy that Carson and Cynthia fell for his lie. The big lie, is in the previous part that I did. And it was regarding Shayna and Chris Kirkpatrick, mostly Shayna, and how They were telling them that Shayna was on Team Carson, Cynthia, Chris Kirkpatrick. Uh, Todrick and Misha felt that their backs were against the wall. So they go to Carson and Cynthia and tell them that Shayna's been working with them and she's been playing both of their sides. Okay, because out of the whole house, Misha and Todrick are a very strong couple, like friends. They're in a strong alliance, and Carson and Cynthia are in a very strong alliance. And they're also like Todrick and Lamar. I'm not Todrick. Todd, Bridges, and Lamar are tight, but um, Misha and Todrick are players, and Cynthia and Carson are players, seemingly. So they're the other people are just background. They're just there. Chris Kirkpatrick's a player. Shayna's been a player. Um, but those two were they're like they're together. Okay, Misha Todrick, Cynthia Carson. Okay, so and they have people around them. Anyway, uh, Todrick's happy that the lie worked, that they're believing the lie about Shayna because Carson is saying that he's going to turn on Shayna, and they're willing to get rid of their own teammate and give them a vote on Misha and Todrick's side. And I love Cynthia and Carson. I love them. I love their relationship together. I love how they are. I love them separately. I love them together. But they are not the brightest stars in the sky. They are not. Okay. Because how do you believe these people? They're working against you. They're not your allies. You're going to believe their lie. They're going to believe what they're telling you about your own teammate. Okay. And her actions didn't prove that her actions prove otherwise than what they're saying. Anyway, whatever. Veto competition is set up. Todrick, Lamar, and Cynthia will be playing along with Todd, Misha, and Carson. Todd, Misha, and Carson automatically will be playing because Todd and Misha are on the block. Carson's the SOH. They ended up picking. They picked Todrick, Lamar, and Cynthia. Okay. Todrick wins the veto. He takes Todd down. Carson then puts up Shayna and cocky ass. Todrick. Okay. He took Todd down for a number and kept Misha up there. Todrick took Todd down and left his friend sitting on the block because he's cocky. He's cocky. He's like, we got these numbers. Doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, the live voting begins. Did I mention this is a 2-hour eviction special? I think this is the 2-hour one. I'm pretty certain. I don't know. Anyway, he takes maybe not because I didn't write it down. Shayna goes up. Shayna goes up and Todd's place. Okay. The live voting begins. Carson will vote in the event of a tie only. Todd votes to evict Shayna, which means, well, it worked in Todrick's favor and Misha's favor because the vote went the way they wanted. Okay, Cynthia votes to evict Shayna. Shayna was her teammate. Okay. Lamar votes to evict Shayna. He thought about it. So when he was in the DR room before he voted. He actually was sitting there pondering, which shows that he understands more than he's letting on. And Todrick votes to evict Shayna. Now I'm not mad at Todrick for his gameplay. He's playing a good game. Oh, I really didn't understand how it was working out so well for him because oh, it was obvious to me, but Carson and Cynthia didn't see it, and Todrick's been going crazy. Like he had so many alliances, and I'm just like, how is this working out for him? But he's very charismatic and effervescent, so I guess that's how you know things. He was able to get away with a lot, so that happened. So so anyway, Carson thanks Misha for her speech. Shayna's gone, so Shayna's gone. So Julie and Shayna are talking on outside. Shayna says that she knew they were backdooring her, and she was at least hoping for finally there was like a secret alliance that was going on, so that it could make sense to her. But it wasn't making sense to her as to why she was out there, and Cynthia and Carson didn't believe her. She was like, maybe they're in a. She was hoping that there was like something going on, that they were in a secret alliance that Carson and Cynthia were in a secret alliance with Todrick and Misha, because doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't. It did not to me as a viewer either. Like I get it, I saw it, I know what Todrick did. I was just shocked that it worked because, damn. Okay, so anyway, that was into that episode. Episode 10. The recap happens. The episode opens with Carson telling Misha and Todrick that everyone will watch the game later when they get home. And if what they said about Shayna is true, then everyone will know. Okay. So he tells the DR, Carson tells the DR, that it was a hard week, but he was happy to see Shayna leave. And I think it's sad that he allowed them to manipulate his HOH and waste his HOH all on a lie and get rid of his own team member. But I think it's sadder that he and Cynthia actually believed them, which allowed it to work at all. Okay, so that's that. I thought it was sad. So Misha's telling DR, saying that she put off the impossible and got Carson to do yada yada yada, and I'm like, no, deflate your ego because you didn't do any of that, lady. Todrick did that shit, not you. Todrick did that, and she likes to take credit. I'm noticing for the things that Todrick does as though she's doing it. Stop it. Stop it. Where did you get off taking credit for somebody else's stuff? This black man did this shit. That was his brain. You stop taking credit for his things. Thank you very the fuck much. Okay? So the house guests are sitting in the living room, chit-chatting, and Lamar tells the house guests it was hard to vote Shayna out. Lamar says it's hard to vote Shayna out because he didn't have a beef with her. He said it was trying to get Todd to vote Misha off was him. And I'm just like, oh my God, the whole house is there, including Misha. So then Misha, she sits there, she hears it, she gets up to leave, and she says she's leaving out of there before she says something stupid, basically before she tells Lamar off for saying that shit in front of her. She tells the DR that Lamar bringing up the fact that he was considering voting her out over Shayna was concerning to her. And so then they start showing flashbacks, and it says that 9 hours before the eviction, Misha and Todrick went to Carson and Cynthia and made a deal. Carson told Misha that if the slate didn't stay the same, like if the block didn't stay the same, then if the slate didn't stay the same, he'd put Shayna up, and that he's sure the whole house would vote her out. He then says that both of them would have to protect both he and Cynthia if they want HOH, if Misha and Todrick want HOH. Cynthia and Carson are talking a lot of shit about Shayna, and it's so sad because she was telling the truth and they were blind to those facts. So anyway, the next scene, it's time for the next HOH competition. They're told to wear their cutest club outfits and head to the backyard. Carson's the host. They're instructed to drink a concoction with obscure items in the drink. They are they're told what's in the drink, but one item from each drink is omitted from the list of ingredients, and the house guests are tasked with figuring out which ingredients missing from the list. And the house guest with the most points at the end will be the next HOH. And they're given like a list of things that it could be, if I remember correctly, because how else would you know, right? So anyway, I'm pretty certain. So Todd's in the lead by round 4, and Carson's concerned that Todd will win because he says he doesn't feel safe with Todd. Carson tells the DR that Todd has basically been asleep the whole game, and now he wants to wake up and win the competition. Carson says Todd winning the HOH because Todd won. Okay, that Todd winning the HOH. No, wait. I don't remember who won. I'm gonna get to it. Carson says Todd with an HOH to be the worst case scenario. Regardless, Todd does. Todd wins the game with 5 points. He didn't miss any of those questions. He got all those nasty ass drinks right. Okay, he figured them all out. So Todd was told to pick 2 people to be a drink mascot, and he picked Lamar and Todd. Now he didn't know what that was going to be. Well, obviously it was a punishment, but he didn't know that. Okay. And they didn't word it as though it was going to be a punishment. So I could give him that, like, whatever. But Misha's happy because she made a deal with Carson and Cynthia that she wouldn't put them up if she won. But since Todd won, she don't have to worry about that because he could put them up and she won't be breaking her deal technically, but she can have Todd do it, she's figuring, and it won't be blood on her hands. So Todrick had taken Todd down from the block instead of taking Misha down. Remember when he won the veto? So he'd have a favor owed. He's thinking he owes me a favor. And he's like, I'm ready to ask him for a favor. Okay? So that's that. So Lamar and Todrick are told to go to the dining room, and they emerge wearing costumes, and they're linked together by a tether. They have to wear a costume and be tied together for 24 hours, and that's their drink mascot punishment. Okay? Todd tells the DR he didn't know that he was picking them, that picking them would entail a punishment, and that had he known, he'd have picked different people because he didn't want Lamar to be mad at him. So anyway, Todd goes to his HO because, Todd and Lamar are friends. So yeah, I can see that he wouldn't want to have picked Lamar for a punishment. Anyway, Todd goes to his HOH room with the others, and he starts reading his letter, but he can't read it. So he has Cynthia. Not that he can't read. He starts getting choked up. Okay, so then he has Cynthia read his letter. It's from his children. Yeah, because he got too choked up reading it, and he couldn't get through it. He was crying. Okay, so Todd is talking with Lamar and Todrick about his options and tells them he wants Cynthia to be on their side. Todd thinks that if Carson wins the veto, he will sacrifice himself to keep Cynthia safe. Todrick tells Todd that she will be on their side regardless once Carson's gone. Todd asks Lamar if he's willing to be a pawn. Todd tells Misha, here's what we're thinking. Lamar said, here's what y'all thinking. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm laughing. He tells Misha he's thinking of putting Carson and Lamar up. And Misha suggests that Todd tells him, no, Lamar didn't say like, he said, here's what y'all thinking. Like, y'all thinking that. Not, so anyway, he tells Misha he's thinking of putting Carson and Lamar up. And Misha suggests that Todd tells him that he will be putting Carson up with Lamar. And that if Carson were to win a veto and take himself down, then he would put Cynthia up in its place, basically to scare him, right? So that he won't fight for the veto because she don't want Cynthia to go up. So Carson tells this to Cynthia. Cynthia tells Carson that he can be saved if she wins the veto and pulls him off the block. Then they'll both be safe. And I'm sort of thinking, girl, you're not getting ready with no veto. But that's what I was thinking. So the nomination ceremony happens, and Todd nominates Carson and Lamar. And he tells Carson that in the speech, when he does a nomination, he says, Carson, I nominated you because you're really good at playing the game and you're friends with everyone and therefore a threat. And Lamar, I nominated you because it's the fourth quarter, it's game 7, and that he can't let him turn around and win a game. It is a Laker reference. I love the Laker reference because I was born a Laker fan. So that was that. And that was the end of episode 10. Okay, so episode 11 is the veto and an eviction. So Carson and Lamar are on the block. We know this, okay? So there's 6 left in the house. 6 people left in the house. We know this. Carson wasted his HOH. He says to Misha, when they get home to watch the show, they will see that Misha was telling the truth. Cynthia says Shayna's exit showed her even more than ever that it was a good move. I don't understand how that's true. But Misha is in the DR taking credit for Todd's plan. We already knew that she was taking credit for him, for his brain. Lamar said, people really be getting on my nerves sometimes and stuff like that. It happens a lot in history. Lamar said it was hard to get rid of Shayna, that he didn't have to for her. That he was going to vote Misha off. He was trying to get Todd to switch his vote. Misha and Todd agree not to target Carson and Cynthia. Okay, so sidebar. Cynthia told Carson about how Misha was talking about Lamar. Misha said Lamar had a problem with authority. And I'm like, that shit irked me. Who was the authority? Her? That was the same conversation that I mentioned a little while ago, monologue, where Misha was saying that Lamar wanted to be catered to and that he was disrespectful. Okay, whatever. Sidebar over. So the conversation between Cynthia and Carson while they're laying in bed is Carson telling Cynthia the agenda for the day is to have Misha not use the POV and to form a final 4 with Misha and Todrick, and to get Lamar out. Cynthia says they have to at least try to get the deal and to keep the noms the same. So Carson's on the block and they're suggesting that they keep the noms the same and get Lamar out. So Cynthia and Carson go to Misha, and Misha tells them that she and Todrick already have a final 4 with Lamar and Todd. Misha says the reason Cynthia and Carson didn't go up together was so Cynthia could be backdoored. And Carson tells her, well, just leave the noms the same then. And Misha tells the DR later that she said she could do that. She could leave them the same for them. That's what they want. And so Cynthia and so then Julie is sitting outside the house with Jerry O'Connell, and he's an actor and he is the co-host on the talk now. At least at that point, he was co-hosting the talk. Julie said, I haven't watched the talk in years. So anyway, So they're sitting outside the house and discussing the game, and he's giving his take on the players. Not going to get into that. Okay. So, new scene. Misha tells Todrick that after Carson is gone this week, that perhaps they should focus on Todd and Lamar, and to get Todd out next week because Todd's actually a player now. And so they're discussing putting Lamar and Todd up next cycle if they win, if either Misha, or Todrick win the HOH. Okay, so Carson and Cynthia are in the pink room, and Todrick comes in and says, last ditch effort, if Todrick can vote to keep him. Okay, so Carson, since the pink room, Todrick comes in, and Carson tells Todrick as a last ditch effort that he would like for Todrick to keep Carson, to keep himself there, and that if he were to do that, then he and Cynthia will guarantee their votes go to Todrick for the final when they reach the final two, because he's telling Todrick, you and Misha are gonna win. You're going to win, make it to the final two. You're going to win everything from this point on, more than likely, the two of you, and you two will be sitting in the final two. Give me one more week, and you will get me and Cynthia's vote when we're in jury. And Todd was like, okay, that sounds good, but he's thinking he needs to go talk to Misha about this. And I'm thinking, well, that telling her that means letting her know that they're going to vote for him, that he'll have two votes at the final, when they're the final two, as opposed to her. That's two votes for him automatically. And I'm thinking, why is he going to tell her this? That's not helping her. It's your information, not her information. And I'm like, well, I guess they're just that close. So he tells her, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't want Tyler to take that deal. She doesn't want him to even consider the deal. She says she wants Carson out because even though Todd's playing now, she feels Carson needs to go first, and that to her is that. Okay, so then the live portion of the show begins, and the live vote is about to take place with 23 minutes left in the episode because it's an hour and 26 minutes without commercials. 2 hours with commercials. Okay, so Carson thanks Misha for being put on the block so many times. He takes it as a compliment, and Misha's like, "You're welcome." And so, okay, so Misha votes to evict Carson, Cynthia votes to evict Lamar, Todrick votes to evict Carson, and so we know Carson's gonna go home with the vote of 2-1. I think it's really sad. I really wanted him to win. I wanted to see him go to the end. I can't understand his gameplay, and Cynthia's gameplay was atrocious, and it was like to salvage that whole mess. They kind of messed themselves up, whatever. Carson tells the house guests that there's meatloaf in the oven because he used to cook, and he tells Cynthia not to eat the cake. And I laughed, but I'm like, then I was like, I thought it was a joke in regards to Chris Kattan, how he was always picking up the cake. But I was like, I don't think that's really what it was. That would have been kind of like me to say something like that when Chris Kattan's not there, and Carson doesn't strike me as a mean person. So I don't think he would joke like that without Chris being there to be in on the joke. So maybe it was something else. It was another joke that they had, and the whole house laughed or whatever. Okay, so Julie and Carson are speaking outside the house for his exit interview, and Julie says that she knows that he was aware that he had been given a heads up that he was leaving, but that she knows that it's still not fun to be going. And Carson's like, yeah, that's not fun. He had a lot of emotions regarding being in the house and bonding with everyone and being stuck in there. And it's a whole different experience. It's something everybody says. And then he leaving the house was emotional for him, he said. And so then Julie brings up the Shayna thing. And she said, and Julie brings up him trusting Misha's words over Shayna's actions, and said that Shayna Shayna saved you, and he used his HOH to get rid of Shayna instead of Misha. And Carson admits that getting rid of Shayna instead of Misha was probably not the best idea. And Julie tells Carson that she thinks the social game was the best out of the house. And so then the goodbye videos are shown to him, and Cynthia says that he won't be getting rid of her. And I'm sitting there thinking she's not lying, and it made me laugh because I was remembering the friendship contract. I'm like, she's gonna bring you a friendship contract, and if she gets mad, she's gonna pull it out of her purse, remind him of them contents. And I thought that the whole friend contract was cute when she did it with Nene Leakes on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, until I realized she meant it as a real contract when she pulled it out as a receipt later. She said that she was joking when she did that, but I watched that. It didn't seem like it was a joke. It seemed like she was trying to cover up how hurt she was by pulling it out, and therefore she was saying that she was joking when she did it. But I don't think she was. But whatever. I don't know. So Julie goes back to the live. Julie goes back to the 5 remaining house guests in the living room for the live portion of the show. And and she tells Lamar, so she's giving an update. She gives Lamar an update that the Rams won the Super Bowl over the Bengals, 20-23, I think. And Julie shows the messages from home. Um, Lamar didn't get a message. I don't think. I don't think Lamar got a message. I think he just got the news about the Super Bowl. Okay, so anyway, Todd's mom, daughter, son, and 2 other people sent him a message. They were all together. And I don't know who the other 2 people are. Maybe his sister and his brother. They didn't say. So I don't know. Todrick's mom sent him a message and said he was doing a great job. Cynthia's husband, Mike Hill, sent her message, and he professed his love and told her that their family missed and loved her, misses and loves her. Meta World Peace sent. Oh yeah, he did get a message. Meta World Peace sent a message for Lamar. They've been friends since they were 12 years old. So, they played ball against each other and probably with each other. They've been friends for a long time. And so anyway, he sent him a message. Misha's kids and her fiance sent a message to her, and her little boy made me cry. It was so sweet. He was so sweet when he was like, "I love Mama." It was so sweet to see. Okay, so then Julie announces to the TV audience that voting for America's favorite house guest, whom will will $25,000, is open. And she says like basically the rest of the season, how it's gonna play out, what days when the last episode will air, and that all the house guests who have been evicted will be coming back to vote for the winner. And that is the end of to the TV audience. Okay, so that's the end of the episode. The house guests inside don't realize, maybe not all of them realize that the house guests are gonna go home. With the house guests go home and watch all this stuff. So when they come back to vote, they will have watched, if they want to. They will have watched everything. So anyway, excuse me, that's the end of the episode. And that is the end of this video, basically. So don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know whenever I post a video. And love you. And I'll see you on the next video.